Playing on a Budget is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the best Magic the Gathering singles and sealed retailer on the internet, GatheringMagic.com, your #1 source for Magic the Gathering news and content, and RogueDeckBuilder.com, my personal channel filled with innovative and entertaining Magic the Gathering rogue brews. Hi there, it's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com here with this week's episode of Playing on a Budget. This week, even though you might be sick of it, we're going to stick to the God-Pharaoh's Gift and bring it back to a budget brew. Running Dimir, we've tried Rakdos as the budget, we've tried the Grixis as a non-budget, and going back to Dimir does put us under that budget of $100. We are going to run a rotation-proof deck with this one, meaning every one of the cards that is in this list is not rotating with the exception of Sunken Hollow, but Sunken Hollow is just a placeholder for the Drowned Catacomb that is going to be printed in Ixalan. So this time our win condition is still going to be the Marionette Master and the God-Pharaoh's Gift, and we are going to run the Metalwork Colossus as a way to sacrifice the artifacts from the Marionette Master, or a fun little thing you can do with Metalwork Colossus is just sacrifice the God-Pharaoh's Gift to get that last bit of damage through after you've reanimated the Marionette Master with the God-Pharaoh's Gift. So we are only going to run a 2 of Metalwork Colossus. We do lose the Westvale Abbey, which is a huge win condition for this deck. But all in all, it's very similar. The things that we lose from red is the Insolent Neonate, which is an incredibly good card for this deck because it does have the ability to discard a card, to kill itself, to add to your graveyard count, as well as then draw a card. So that is going to hurt. I'm hoping we have some sort of blue replacement, some sort of looter effect, or some sort of a creature that can kill itself, or something that is just really, really, powerful out of the gates to either disrupt our opponent. I know that there are some pirates that might fit this description, but what we really want is a creature-based looting effect, and because it's tough with this deck, you want to have your creature count as close to 30 as possible. You definitely want over 25. And we already have in this one 6 creatures that we're not going to be casting with the Metalwork Colossus and the Marionette Master. And so going down to the spells, I'd like to have a replacement for a card like Cathartic Reunion that is a creature. This case, we're going to have to run Strategic Planning. Strategic Planning has some pluses and minuses over Cathartic Reunion. Cathartic Reunion is really bad in the late, as if you don't have the 2 cards to discard to Cathartic Reunion, or if it's something like a Walking Ballista that's in your hand, that feels terrible to have to discard that to then draw cards. Strategic Planning, however, you don't get to specifically discard cards from your hand. You just have to look at the top 3, put 1 in your hand and the rest in your graveyard, so you get 2 in your graveyard, 1 in your hand. And it's a little bit better in late game, but it's still not ideal. There could be a better option printed in Ixalan for that slot. So basically the non-creatures we're running in this is 3 God-Pharaoh's Gift. I up the count by God-Pharaoh's Gift by 1 because it is something that I think I think it's just with Metalwork Colossus a little more synergistic. If you have 2 of them out, we could easily cut down in the God-Pharaoh's Gift down to 2 again. So let's just go down the list. For the land base, we're still going to run the Aether Hubs. They have synergy with the Ministry of Inquiries. And 4 Ipnu Rivulets, as they're another great way for us to self-mill. Then we are going to run the Sunken Halls, which is the Drowned Catacomb filler. And then 3 Swamps, and the rest being islands. 7 islands here to make a land count of 22. We are basically curving out at what I consider 4 is all we have to get up to. So we have a very, very aggressive curve. If we have to late game hard cast like a Marionette Master and God-Pharaoh's Gift, usually by that time we've been able to find lands through the Gate to the Afterlife or Champion of Wits, or even Strategic Planning. So the 1-drops are going to still be the Ministry of Inquiries and Hope of Ghirapur. Hope of Ghirapur actually does a very good job of disrupting our opponent. A lot of times you can stick the Gate to the Afterlife if on turn number 3 you attack in with the Hope of Ghirapur and then sacrifice it after it's done combat damage, meaning that your opponent can't cast a counterspell in response to your Gate to the Afterlife. So I've used that a lot versus Torrential Gearholt type decks to stick that Gate to the Afterlife. It's been a really, really powerful card in a lot of the decks that I've run it in these God-Pharaoh's Gift. The 2-drop slot is just going to be 3 Glint-Nest Cranes and 4 Strategic Plannings. I think Glint-Nest Crane is going to miss quite a bit in this deck, but it's still a 1/3. It blocks. It hopefully can hit a card. And we're running how many artifacts we're running? We have 3, 7, 10, 14. We're running 16, so I mean that's pretty decent in a 60 card deck. So Glint-Nest Crane's another card that possibly we could find another slot. I still think the Glint Sleeve Siphoner could fit in this slot, but the problem with Glint Sleeve Siphoner is we'd have to up the amount of black mana that we'd run, and I think we'd want another dual land before we really, I mean, with only Drowned Catacomb as an option at the moment after rotation, that makes it very, very awkward. We don't want any lands that come into play tapped without any option of coming into play untapped. And so we'd have to up the count of swamps, which then makes kind of the deck a little more awkward. But it might, I mean, we have nothing that's double blue in the deck, so that might be an option in the future. So on the 3 drops, we have the Champion of Wits and Trophy Mage. We have 4 champions, which is the best card in the deck, and 3 Trophy Mage, which Trophy Mage goes and gets the Gate to the Afterlife, as well as goes and gets the Aethersphere Harvester from the sideboard, which is our definitely one of our better cards against the aggro-based decks. It's also really, really good at stopping the dragon, the Glorybringer. So then on the other 3 is the Gate to the Afterlife. Gate to the Afterlife, of course, is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful card in the deck. You want to stick it as quickly as possible. It gets a lot weaker without the Neonate. Neonate is still, it was really, really good with Gate to the Afterlife to set up draws. But we still do have the our 1-drop Hope of Ghirapur can loot, kind of sacrifice itself if we need to. And Walking Ballista still works very, very good with the Gate to the Afterlife. So rounding off at the top, we have Metalwork Colossus and Marionette Master. We're never going to cast them. Well, rarely going to ever cast them from our hands. What's kind of fun about Metalwork Colossus, though, is once it is in your graveyard, it is something you can cast off a God-Pharaoh's Gift. So you reanimate your God-Pharaoh's Gift, and the Metalwork Colossus only costs 4. And the last but not least in the slot is Walking Ballista, which is a really, really powerful card of stalling our opponent. Plus, it is good with Marionette Master being something you can cast for 0 to trigger it off, which is very powerful with both Gate to the Afterlife and Marionette Master. So very similar to last week's deck. The sideboard, we can go heavy in the negates and dispels. We need to protect our God-Pharaoh's Gift, so Abrade is public enemy number 1. This is also negates something we can counter the stuff that affects our graveyard. Also on the sideboard, we're going to run 1 of Dispossess and 1 of Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy, you can go get the Approach to the Second Sons, which is a deck that is starting to see a lot more play. If you lost Legacy at that, it's a one-trick pony. They can't win the game at that point. Same thing with Dispossess on other God-Pharaoh's Gift type decks and on Torrential Gearhulk decks. Just a 1 of is fine. So we do want to stop swarm-based strategies, and Pirates, I think, will be very similar to that coming out. So it's going to run 4 Yahenni's Expertises in the sideboard. Not quite an hour of devastation, but the good thing about Yahenni's Expertise is it allows you to cast a 4-drop and then on the same turn cast like a Champion of Wits or a Trophy Mage or a Gate to the Afterlife, or even a 2 or a 1-drop. And so you don't feel like you've wasted your turn 4. And then I've already explained Aethersphere Harvester is just the definition of a roadblock versus those aggressive base decks. So ramming up red and any other aggro-based strategy will have to take care of the Aethersphere Harvester before they can really progress. The life link is strong on this, gaining 6 life, even potentially more with Ministry of Inquiries or Aether Hub is quite potent in this. So again, I'm sure we'll have some other options when Ixalan comes out. This is just basically mostly Kaladesh cards and just the God-Pharaoh's Gate to the Afterlife combo in this. Yeah, and in Dispel is a placeholder as well, because this will be replaced with even a better one, in my opinion, counter target non-creature spell, and the spell snare, not spell, whatever the counter target non-creature spell in the SP2 is. Anyway, we'll queue this up and see how well we do. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. All of the videos will be in the description, so you can follow, or the timestamps, so you can follow along the matches. We'll play 4 matches, and I'll play the 5th on my channel. Match 1. This is an interesting hand. We need 1 more land, and then we need to find a way to loot these God-Pharaoh's Gifts. I think it's keepable, though. I mean, you could argue this is a mulligan hand, but it has what we want, or at least the makings of something we want. And it's a Botanical Sanctum. Temur Energy is one of the harder matchups for this deck because the Ballista, or the Glorybringer is extremely tough for us to deal with. So I'm just going to lead off with a Ministry of Inquiries. And then we can play the Glint-Nest Crane next turn. Of course, I would love to draw a land. And if we do draw a land, then we do have the makings for the Gate to the Afterlife to start looting the God-Pharaoh's Gift. And it's just going to be a Censor. This Teamer Energy still does play Censor quite often. And yeah, it's probably what's going to be coming down. So we'd have the Glint-Nest Crane to kind of block that Long-Tusk Cub. Sunken Hollow will be good. I mean, this is where the Drowned Catacomb would be awesome. I don't think that we run anything. We just run the Sunken Hollow out, even though it does screw up later on, because we do want the Glint-Nest Crane. I don't think there's any way around playing the Glint-Nest Crane here. Fortunately, we have the majority of our artifacts already in our hands, so this is most likely going to miss. And yes, it does miss. We have an Aether Hub and no Rogue Refiner. And my opponent does not run out anything, so we'll self-mill here. And we get 2 cards we want in the graveyard for sure. We would have loved to draw the... So the gate could get countered here. We're just going to run it out. It's going to get censored. It's going to get disallowed. So heavier on the counter spells with this deck. Maybe it actually is not a teamer. Yeah, you'd think it'd be another, but I mean, heavy censor and disallow. Eventually we're just going to have to get there, so I'm fine with that play. Disallow would have been worse on like cracking the gate, the gate to the afterlife. So it's going to go for a Supreme Will. So really heavy on the counter spells for whatever we're playing. And we'll mill ourselves again. That finds nothing. Another Sunken Hollow. We'll just throw it out. We'll also throw out a Walking Ballista for 1, just because I want to spend my mana. And we have 3 creatures in the graveyard, but at this point it doesn't really matter. We might just end up having to hardcast God-Pharaoh's Gifts. We need to get a Champion of Wits as soon as possible. But if not, we do have plays with just pumping up Walking Ballista. Wonder if this is like Torrential Gearhulk with green in my opponent's deck. It's something never seen this heavy of counter spells in a main board of an energy strategy, but that's my and Cub's gonna come in here. So I can make him spend all of his energy. But I think what we're going to do is just throw the Glint-Nest. Wait. Now we can throw both if he wants to kill the Minister. Yeah, because he can't kill both. And this will force out spending all of his energy. And I think it's worthwhile. We do leave a Bristling Hydra back. And it will put the last 1/1 counter. Okay. So the energy is spent. I don't know if that's worthwhile for the deck. And we find 2 Marionette Masters. Awesome. So we don't have to draw Marionette Masters. Another Minister of Inquiries at least allows us a blocker. But we're kind of in a predicament here. Still need to draw 2 lands. Or a gate to the Afterlife now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have what we need, but our opponent's got like Dispossess. The thing is we got rid of the energy, which is exactly what I wanted to do. We'll just block one of them here. Block the Marionette Master so the Cub can't gain energy. The Summoning Stick one. And there's the second land, though, for the Sanctum. So let's go ahead and mill again. And, okay, found 3 cards that, those are actually good cards at this point. The Crane at least is another blocker. And can find us the gate. I don't think I'm going to run out of gate this turn. Just an Essence Scatter, that does hurt. Lots of counter spells in this one, so it's just a green-blue tempo with energy, which is actually really, really good against what we're trying to do. I need to block probably just the Long-Tusk Cub again, and I think we're just going to get aggroed out here. As we do mill a gate to the Afterlife this time. So if the God-Pharaoh's gifts end up like not being good in our hand, I think these are actually mulligans. It is Teamer, wow. Teamer energy with Essence Scatter, Supreme Will, Disallow, and Censor in the main. Champion of Wits is probably the best card we could have drawn into here. But oh, it doesn't get milled, okay. I think I'm just gonna mill one of each. We didn't hit a land though. We need to get to those lands. And a Glimmer even in this. So I'm assuming Torrential Gearhulk is going to be in this list. So trying to combine the best of both worlds. Now we can double block on a Bristling Hydra. I think what we do is we still just block the Cub. Even though at this point, I mean, now Disallow and even Gearhulk at this point are just going to lock us out. Needed to stick the gate to the Afterlife. That's the card that has to stick, and it got countered. I mean, at least Trophy Mage gets us closer to what we need. But it's a removal spell. 2 removal spells just win the game. My opponent can even just cast the Torrential Gearhulk here and put me in a huge predicament. Just a Harness Lightning. Okay, so if there's another removal spell in hand, then I just lose to the... Okay, I don't quite lose here. Except we have to play defense like crazy, and then any sort of counterspell here is something that And then we get the Colossus. So this isn't working out as well without the loots. And my opponent does have the disallow. Okay, so we'll bring in all of the negates and dispels if we're going to play this sort of route. I don't know if I need to go Harvester here. Harvester does seem like it's a difficult card for my opponent to deal with. He needs expertise. There's so many counterspells main board in this one. Then my opponent really needs to stick a 2 or a all we saw is those 2 creatures though, so that might be it. I'm assuming since it's red that the other creature spell is going to be the Glorybringer. Rogue Refiner would be smart to put. I mean, yeah, I think Rogue Refiner's in there too, but it doesn't leave a lot of room for stuff. I mean, that's right there would be 20 cards, and we know that we know Essence Scatters, and I'm assuming for there's tons of counter spells unless we just ran into a lot of them. So if this is the case, we might just take out their strategic plannings. We'll just have to naturally get there. Something like Glint-Nest Cranes are actually good to. I'd rather take him out. Maybe put in the Harvester. Harvester though can just die to. No, I think Harvester actually is good because I do believe Rogue Refiner is in here, and so we can get rid of like Hope of Ghirapurs are actually good to stick. So I'm just going to take out the Metalwork Colossus. We're not going to go for a win con that way. We're just going to have to rely on the Marionette Master getting us there. Yeah. You can make the argument for he needs expertise, but I don't know if it kills enough creatures in his deck. Wonder if Minister of Inquiries is just, since we brought in Glint Nests. Yeah, I'm going to take out some Ministers. Throw back in some Glint Nests. Glint Nests do a good job of finding now that we have an additional 3 artifacts. Oh, actually, one more artifact. Metalwork Colossus. Yeah, maybe we'll just do that. So, God-Pharaoh's Gift probably doesn't want to be a 2 of. I think this is okay. I mean, we have the Metalwork Colossus that is put back in. But we are hitting land drops, and that's what we want to do versus this counterspell deck. We have to end up hard casting. I mean, the name of the game of this deck is just sticking those Long Tusk Cubs. Probably Rogue Refiner, I would assume, is in here, and the Bristling Hydra. And again, there's probably one more creature. I would think it's Glorybringer, maybe Torrential Gearhulk. And maybe we just ran into a ton of non-creatures, or if there's just maybe 2 Bristling Hydras or something like that. Tempo decks are probably the hardest matchups for us. We like this deck loves aggro. That's the matchup I like to see. Hopefully Glint-Crest hits or Glint Nest, and it does not. We don't have to see all those lands though. And we'll pass the turn here. Okay, so Long Tusk Cub comes down, which is really good because it allows us to stick the gate. We draw another land, which is not what I wanted to see. A Braid is still an issue. Worst case scenario is a Rogue Refiner or Harness Lightning comes out here. No, Harness Lightning is pretty... Or Braid. I mean, there's literally anything in my opponent's hand can... Attune is rough too. I think I just have to give him the energy. I don't think I'm quite... Because I want that Harvester to have a target. Yeah. And now we're heavy on the harvesters, which the Glint-Nest did not find. Which is kind of funny, we can actually cast Metalwork Colossus next turn. Let's see, 9, 10, 11, yeah. No, we can't. We draw. Yes, we can. We can actually cast Metalwork Colossus next turn. So opponent's going to keep up some sort of Supreme Will or Disallow or something. So I think I'm going to go for it here. This one should get countered. I don't think my opponent can deal with a 10-10. So we get that disallow out of our opponent's hand, which is very pivotal. However, I do feel very far behind. We have the gate that's not doing a lot. I mean, we can get the Colossus back in our hand by sacrificing some harvesters, but I don't think that's the right case yet. We'll go Champion of Wits. And Trophy Mage, yeah, we'll get rid of both of these. So now we're in pretty decent shape as we got the Dispel to prevent our opponent from... So Glimmer's interesting. My opponent Glimmers here. I don't know if I Dispel it or not. I'm going to. There's another Attune. I don't know. Possibly I should have started going for the Aethersphere Harvester aggro. Because it's only a few turns before I would just win at that point. Kind of want this land back. I'm going to crew this Harvester. Because I do want the land because it allows for champions to come back. I can also sacrifice the Harvester, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Nope, not quite there. 4. But getting my opponent down is really pivotal for this Marionette Master, I think. This will force my opponent's hand, though. I mean, we're in bad shape here. Good news is my opponent seems to be a bit flooded. So I crew, it'd force off the block for the Harvester, I'd get a loot. So is that what I want to do with Marionette Master coming back? I'd get a crew. No, let's see. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, possibly more in. Could get a draw and a draw. But I still want the other Harvester, I think. I think we can still play. Perfect. Another Marionette Master goes to the bin. So we have more in the graveyard. All right, let's see what's coming out here. Another cub. Geez, our opponent can draw the cubs. So we'll just hardcast this Marionette Master. This is interesting. I think I go servos. And at this point, though, like, my opponent is down quite low. We're at 27. I don't see if I would have gone non-servos, what could I have done? We could have done 4-8 damage with the Metalwork Colossus coming back. I don't think that's quite reasonable. I do want to draw like a Negate. All right, so this is going to be an interesting block. The servos, I don't know if they're that much of a problem or not. I can even kill this Marionette Master. At this point, I want my opponent to spend their... Yeah, so I'm going to let this 5-5 go through for sure. We want everything to die, actually, because I want to be able to get this Gate to the Afterlife out. So let's go block, 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 and block. I'm okay with this. So I can go 3 there. Nah. Make him choose. Which cub he wants to save. And if it's these two, I'll bring back. Yeah, went on the right one here because I could go Metalwork Colossus to bring back. I could still crew the Metalwork. Nah, we want the hub to still, the Aethersphere Harvester to still do some damage. Because, I mean, we're getting close just to going lethal on our opponent. find 2 useless cards, and we do have the Gate to the Afterlife is ready to go. 2 cards in my opponent's hand. There's not a lot my opponent can do besides just activating Lumbering Falls. Another Harvester. So, I mean, I could go for the Gate to the Afterlife. And if it gets disallowed, does my opponent does have the mana for Lumbering Falls? Is the bad news. So Torrential Gearhulk. For disallow. All right, we'll cast the other Harvester. And next turn, we'll just go for lethal. Only 1 card in my opponent's hand. And we're not going to block anything here. Going to show us the last card in hand, which is Confiscation Coup. I think we just sacrifice the servo and the Harvester. Getting my opponent down to a 6. Which does put us in a weird position now. Sunken Hollow does allow me to get a champion back. Which we definitely want the Walking Ballista. Is that just lethal at this moment? We can throw the Colossus away and the Aether Hub, I would assume. Puts our opponent down to 3, and then with the Walking Ballista just wins the game. So I can even block with the Champion of Wits if we're that worried about. Glimmer was a great top deck there. Allows for... But my opponent's got to, yeah, take care of the Aethersphere Harvester. Plus we have a Walking Ballista. I need to play fast next game, though. Supreme Veil. So my opponent is like really digging for an Abrade or Harness Lightning. but I think this is lethal. So we actually win without the combo just by out-grinding our opponent with this Harvesters. They end up doing doing some work against this deck. And my opponent's dead multiple ways. I'll throw out the hub here. Throw out a gate. And, ooh, I need that to actually hit. So, do we cast this on? How many creatures do I have in the graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is just for 0. And this actually just wins the game here. So we won a lot of different ways, even my opponent hadn't a braid. So I'm gonna cut a God-Pharaoh's Gift, I think. They're very awkward to have in the hand, especially since I got rid of my strategic planning. So one of Metalwork Colossus works pretty well. I could dispossess away the Torrential Gearhulks if I'm that worried. Yahenni's expertise actually might not be that bad, but there's so many negates and things like that. I think that we just go down a God-Pharaoh's Gift. I think I do need something like Strategic Planning, or is this Minister of Inquiries better? The Minister of Inquiries I don't think really does a lot. It does crew, the Metalwork Colossus does bring my creature count back up. In all honesty, I could go down even another God-Pharaoh's Gift and just have the 1. Other than that, it gets kind of awkward. So we were right. I think that the red is actually only in here for Braids and Harness Lightnings. So it's just kind of like a green-blue tempo deck, Torrential Gearhulk, Bristling Hydra. I'm assuming Bristling was probably a 2 of, and 4 Long Tusk Cubs, and then the Torrential Gearhulk is the win con. So it's just trying to tempo it out, establish a Long Tusk Cub threat. And I'm surprised that Rogue Refiner is not in here too, because it's the perfect tempo card. It does everything this deck wants to do. So here is this hand is vulnerable. It needs one more, and it needs, like, for the Champion of Wits to see. We have the double negates, though, which is pretty powerful for what our opponent's doing, especially if they don't have the Bristling Hydra. So we do get the third land, which is exactly what we want. So if they get a Cub again, it's going to be trouble for us. Yeah, you can't rely on that every game to have a turn 2 Cub, but it did happen versus us, so we'll just throw out. And now what our opponent's going to try to do is keep up Censors, Supreme Wills, everything at that point. And I think we might just die to the Cub. I mean, this is on the draw. The Cub is incredibly powerful. It wouldn't be that great on the play, as we would be able to do the Champion of Wits before the Cub comes out, but I'm pretty sure everything's just going to get countered that I try to put out here. And the Cub is just going to increasingly get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think Champion Wits is actually the weaker card at the moment. Really allows it to happen. So that allows the Marionette Master to go away. And I'm assuming just a Hope of Ghirapur. I could have gone for Hope of Ghirapur next turn. With Aethersphere Harvester. Ah, this is a rough one. I could force the counters going. I think I just let it go through. Next turn I have a Negate with a... We'll go Harvester, see if this gets negated or... whatnot. Does get disallowed. Okay. That is fine by me. I think we will allow the cub to go through one more time. Because I do want to get the value off of the gate to the Afterlife. Yeah, this deck is so cub dependent. They just dirtle if they don't have that 2-drop. So I'm down to an 11. Unfortunately, this could come down to a counterspell war now. We do get another Harvester, which is pretty decent. And we do have the Negate up. So I could Walking Ballista for 0 here if I just wanted to draw a card, but I think I'm fine. Glimmer I will counter with the Negate. I cannot be letting my opponent draw more. Gonna braid the gate to the Afterlife. Sure. This point I think I have to block. But my opponent has 2 cards in hand. I'm drawing the Negates like crazy. We'll do a Walking Ballista on 1. And a Harvester. Three cards in my opponent's hand. You can see though, without the cub, this game goes completely different. So the thing is, I can let this go through and then start getting some life back. Fortunately, we find a swamp here, so it's away from the Champion of Wits. But if I can get the Champion of Wits out, I'm in decent shape. So do I let the cub go through then? I don't think I do. I think I have to block it. And just hope for... We have a lot of outs here. I can just start hard casting Marionette Masters. I mean, at least it gives us an out. Gives us something to block for a turn. But I am not in any way, shape, or form in good shape here. As now I do need to block on the Cub again. 4 mana in my opponent's hand. Champion of Wits is a good draw. Oh, this is tough. Because I want the land for another one. But I need a negate for sure. My opponent goes for a Supreme. We only have 2 minutes and 38 seconds too. I think I just might die due to time constraints here. Two cards in my opponent's hand. Leaves up everything. All right, so we have the 6 in for the graveyard. Gates of Afterlife is online. But we have T-Hulk. That is most likely in my opponent's hand, so we will gate. It's a little more powerful than a... I actually messed up here for Torrential Gearhulks. Okay, so we did not mess up. Let's see. Do I die? I don't die to a Lumbering Falls. Because I need to keep up the mana for this and negate, is what I was not... Gates of Afterlife, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How come? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. How come this is not? Oh, it is. Okay. It is. Two cards. It's got to be a Torrential Gearhulk. This is in my opponent's hand, so... Not quite sure. Yeah, we want the island. So we're going to crack it. So there's Torrential Gearhulk. For the disallow. And we'll negate the disallow. Grab a God-Pharaoh's Gift. Which brings in a Marionette Master. And we need servos. And we might pull this off. Need to play extremely quick here. A tune is not what my opponent wants. Needs a Harness Lightning or an Abrade. And I think we pulled this off with 1:16 left. Because the Abrade will hit the God-Pharaoh's Gift and do 4 damage. And we can still cast another Marionette Master in hand. So, Hope of Ghirapur, yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Let's do this quickly. I am tapping my mana incorrectly. My opponent has 1 draw. I have plenty of blockers. Each of these will do 5 damage if they die. So my opponent can top deck his way out of this with another removal spell. I think Serve was the best way to do it. So I just need to pass the turn quickly because 53 seconds is a time constraint. So I can draw a Metalwork Colossus too next turn. There's so many things I can draw into. Opponent needs an Abrade. And we got it with 52 seconds. Crazy game. Opponent shut us down pretty well, but I don't know. My opponent's deck's kind of awkward without that second turn cub. I know I say that a ton of times, but anyway, we'll go on to the match number 2. Okay, match 2. Yes, we'd like to play first. This is it is a keepable. I like to keep 2 landers. They're a little more vulnerable than the last, the Grixis version, as there aren't like cathartic readings we can draw out of this here. Strategic Planning's okay though, and the thing is the Neonate made it very good too on keeping 2 landers. Spire Buff Canal. All right, so we're playing the mirror, and I like mirror matches. Really like mirror matches with this deck because we seem to do like our Marionette Master combo is better than the Angel. Unfortunately, we miss a land here. However, if we hit a land next turn, we get the Champion. And Champion throws a Marionette Master and a Gate into the graveyard. I actually don't know if I throw a Gate or if I throw a Marionette Master and a Trophy Mage. Ooh, Cathartic Reading with 2 planes. That's a bad sign for my opponent. They're just flooded. So cross your fingers for a land here. And we get it. So it's going to be a Champion. We'll throw the Marionette Master and a Trophy Mage away. Pass the turn. We're in great shape. Next turn we have another Champion of Wits. Or we can start the Gate to the Afterlife. So my opponent does get the God-Pharaoh's Gift of theirs in the graveyard. Which is starting to get where they want to be. And there is a Trophy Mage to go get the Gate to the Afterlife. So let's see who can be degenerate quicker. And I think I can. So like I said, I like the mirror is pretty easy for me because we have the Marionette Master combo is so much better than what my opponent tries to do. So speaking of which, I think we can YOLO for a Champion of Wits. The thing is though, I have to try to go for another Gate to the Afterlife, but I think that's overkill at that point because we know what we're doing. And I do want this 2 damage with our own Champion of Wits here. Because that puts... the 2 damage is very relevant in this match. So, next turn, If we draw in, we can do both Champion of Wits plus Gate to Afterlife. But I mean, I already have the. Ooh, that one did not hit very well. So only 2 creatures in my opponent's graveyard. Plus, they still need another land to go Gate plus. So my opponent's going to go Gate of their own. As well as the Insolent Neonate. And we will do a block sack and kill our own champion. And we want to land. And we found it. I think I will get rid of this Champion of Wits just to guarantee that we have what we need. And this turn, we can go Trophy Mage here. We'll go Aether Hub. But I think I'd rather have another Gate. As it puts us with the in range for just a lethal. And this one wants +1/+1 counters. But the Neonate, we're not going to attack in. As a Neonate is a good blocker at this point. Only 2 creatures in my opponent's graveyard. They can set it up with the Neonate. Maybe I should have gone Servos because Nah, I don't care at this point. Ministry of Inquiries is discarded. 1, 2, Thraben Inspector is discarded. That brings my opponent's count up to 5. So still needs to find another card in the graveyard. Can do so with the Rivulet or another Cathartic Reunion. And there's the Angel of Invention. Again, I don't care too much about it. As my ability to go lethal is much better than my opponent's ability. With the other Marionette Master that's coming out here. I will probably bring in Negates for this match. It's really fun to negate a Cathartic Reunion. So my opponent is up to a 25. So I can bring back a champion, but I think I want to go strategic planning. To try to throw another creature in the graveyard. I can do so with Champion of Wits anyway, so we're just going to go strategic planning. Throw away a Champion of Wits and an Ipnu Rivulet. That way we can cast. Oh, jeez. Whoops. Messed up there. Doesn't matter. We can go champion is fine as well. As now we'll gate to the Afterlife, which we'll do... No, we don't want to do gate yet. Wait, beginning of combat. We do want to do gate. If I bring back... Yeah, this does 7. We could bring it back to 14 from the gate, but I still think... Yeah, I messed that up. I meant to, I was thinking strategic planning was throw 2 in the graveyard, so I targeted the champion. So I don't know if that's how badly that's gonna affect. But we'll bring back a champion first to give us more. No. We'll bring back a Marionette Master and a Trophy Mage to go get another. I could go get a Trophy Mage. I think I'm going to just get back a... Champion of Wits here. Because this will allow... Yeah, for something like a Hope of Ghirapur. We could go strategic planning or something like that. We're just going to get rid of Trophy Mage and a Rivulet or a Swamp. Now I could attack with both Marionette Masters. I don't think we do so. I'm just going to keep it back. Play Hope of Ghirapur. And pass. Cataclysmic Gearhulk is kind of awkward. My opponent has 3 cards in hand. There isn't another good card to bring back. Plus, this Hope of Ghirapur is going to be net down damage from my opponent. Gearhulk would be the best card because it would get rid of a God-Pharaoh's Gift. Westville Abbey also isn't that big of a problem. Another gate. Does my opponent have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. But there's not a really good target. Just a Champion of Wits at this point. Maybe goes for a Thraben Inspector. Okay, gonna try for maybe another Angel. No Angel so far. You can't cast anything else unless... Oh, that was a really good draw, actually, another Neonate. Because this allows for the gate. Because if my opponent does get another Angel of Invention in the graveyard, that could be a bit of an issue trying to dish off enough damage, but I still don't think my opponent can do enough before these Hope of Ghirapurs just start. I mean, each one of these Hope of Ghirapurs dying is 14 damage. My opponent's going to gain a little more than 14, but... it's just a matter of time before I get the other Marionette Master I need and a Walking... Or, excuse me, a Colossus, and then it's game. So the next Angel gets in for 7. I go down to an 8. And that has to be the play. Cataclysmic Gearhulk's not nearly as good now. Just Walking Ballista on 1 to kill the Hope of Ghirapur. Assuming a Neonate gets targeted here. Champion probably gets the nod. As it's 5 cards. Well, my opponent only goes up to a... $11. Yeah, so many things I can draw into. So I think we start off here with just a strategic planning, which should find us a Walking Ballista. Well, it finds us another strategic planning. Jeez. Do we go for another strategic planning? I think I do. I just need to find a Walking Ballista. That finds us the other Marionette Master. I can't... Yeah, then I can just attack him with the Hope of Ghirapur. But that was pretty bad. As now, yeah, we still haven't found the other Colossus or another Ballista, but we do have the Hope of Ghirapur that can come back and attack in, and that's 21 damage that happens. No, my opponent just chooses not to block. I could die here to Westvale Abbey, and I could get back 2 Hope of Ghirapurs and attack in, and then my opponent would have to block with 1, but then gains the lifelink. No, it's definitely... We're going to get 2 Champion of Wits back. Because this will have to find it. And there it is. So we can just discard. And now we can just get back a Marionette Master. And we won. So, where... Marionette Master is actually unnecessary because it does 14 damage. I guess we didn't have another. And we'll cast Walking Ballista for 21 damage. Yeah, with the Marionette Master combo, I have yet to lose to this mirror. This is how most of the games end up. So I don't care about like Yahenni's expertise or Aethersphere Harvester. Harvester can block the Angel. Dispossess definitely comes in. Lost Legacy will actually come in as well. Both of them are pretty decent, and all 4 negates. So the cards that we don't need, Colossus is awkward. I don't actually think we need Colossus in this deck. And same thing with, like, I do like strategic planning because it gets us where we want to be. Glint-Nest is probably not as... Trophy Mage is probably not as good as Glint-Nest, just because Glint-Nest can block, and sometimes we need that to happen. And so I think it's either... Well, we're going to keep in 1 Metalwork Colossus and just get rid of 2 Inquiries, I think. This does take our creature count way down. I mean, we could just go 2 God-Pharaoh's Gifts. Opponent could be bringing in like a Braid, though. I think we will go 2, because we want our creature count up a little bit. And that way I'll throw in 1 Trophy Mage. Yeah, I don't think I need Dispels. What would Dispel? Negates of my opponent's own. We have our own negates, though. But, I mean, this is... You negate there, gate to the Afterlife, that's pretty reasonable. Negating Cathartic Reunion's huge. Lost Legacy is something I can cast for the Angel. I think the Angel's the only thing that can really beat us. Champion of Wits is something I can name with Lost Legacy as well. And our opponent is actually going to give us something with Lost Legacy. Maybe I'll name whatever's in the graveyard. If there's 2 ofs, for example, in the graveyard. Neonate. Okay. I'd love to hit a Glint here, or a Walking... Ooh. Well, that gives us 2 things we throw in the graveyard now. I mean, we're Marionette Master overload here. Alright, so mill something awesome. Give me some great juicy targets here. Thought-Knot Seer and Walking Ballista. I don't want either one of those at the moment. So brought in Thought-Knot Seers, which... I'm sure the Neonate's going to attack in. I can name a Thought-Knot Seer. I'd like to see whatever duplicate he gets from the Inquiries later on. God-Pharaoh's Gift goes to the bin. And nothing. Why? I don't understand the just killing the instant Neonate there without a... I guess really trying for... Why didn't I get a strategic planning last turn? Oh well, this is going to be a Champion of Wits. Which throws 2 Marionette Masters in the bin. And my opponent should mill himself again, I'd assume. No. Okay. Gonna keep that energy for who knows what. Another Ipnu Rivulet. See if a Thought-Knot Seer comes down here. There it is. Should grab my Lost Legacy, I would assume. Not a lot of good things here. Yeah. Like I said, now I don't have to cast it. It's fine. Very much worth it. To put the Ministry of Inquiries. That could have been a self-mill there. Okay. We have the Gate to the Afterlife, which I don't think we're quite ready to use. So we're going to strategic planning to try to find a land. And we find a Hope of Ghirapur. So the Thought-Knot Seer's a little bit of an issue. They start to do a lot of damage. But we are on the road. Did I just forget to play that land drop too? Whoops. I just messed up. That might cost me the game too. Because we do have 6 in the graveyard. Yeah, I messed up big time here. Angel can just be cast now. So there's a Gate to the Afterlife. And there is 6 in the graveyard. I wonder why my opponent didn't run it out. No, there's only 5. Okay. So hopefully the land drop doesn't mess me up. Do I run into a possible negate? I don't think I do. I'm just going to throw champions out. I'm not too worried about. There's a negate of our own. I want the God-Pharaoh's Gift in the graveyard, yeah. So my opponent can self-mill. The 2 mana held up is kind of awkward. Wait, held the... Okay. And my opponent did find the last one, so gate is happening. And this does hurt because it gets my other gate, I'm sure Thought-Knot Seer will come out here. So I messed up. Because I could have had my own. Okay, this does give me a chance, though. I do need to block here with the champion. But this gives me a chance to recover. With the gate. Because I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we'll go gate. And we can crack it. Throw out a Marionette Master. We need servos, though, unfortunately. Yeah, this one needs to be servos. Problem is my opponent's going to gain a lot of life with this Angel of Invention. Champion of Wits will probably be the play. So I might actually play this differently. Yeah, I don't care about Thought-Knot Seer here. I could let the Marionette Master die. But I mean, what happens if my opponent attacks in? Goes to, let me just do some math. Goes to 30. Can I dish off 30 damage in one turn? Because I'm dishing off 12 damage right here. And so it'll effectively bring my opponent back down. Only attacking with the Angel. I guess that's smart. And that's up 2 life. Doesn't want me drawing cards with a Thought-Knot Seer, I assume. Mystery Inquiries is actually quite funny. Because I can actually mill my opponent here with... I have 4, 7. It's only a few turns if we want to go that route. So I could bring back a Glint-Nest Crane just to find more. I think Champion of Wits is better at finding what I need here, rather than another Marionette Master. Because there is the Walking Ballista. And we'll discard an island and a Sunken Hollow. Now we have another Rivulet, which is another... And I'll cast Minister of Inquiries. And it's a Walking Ballista for 1, I believe. Unfortunately, though, we can't block the Angel. So, oh, another Angel goes to the graveyard. We just die. Possibly that was the wrong move. See if it hit an Angel. No Angel. Awesome. Oh, Mausoleum Wanderer just wins. Yeah, so I had to do a Glint. because that's perfect, lethal. So we needed to find something off of the... Okay. We will go on to the sideboard. So those Glint-Nest Cranes are definitely something I need to put in. Yeah, I still don't think Harvester's the right route to go. Do you take out the Cathartic Reunions for... Does Negate... Yeah, I actually don't even like Negates for... I think I'm just going to try to go my route better. Rather than deal with him. But I think I messed that big time up. I think playing that land, not playing that land was the difference between winning and losing. We could have got a Marionette Master out a turn earlier, and then we've probably been able to go lethal. Keeble hand with the Dispossess. Oh, this is going to be really good if strategic planning can find me a black. Neonate. Good it wasn't a Wanderer. This is looking pretty good with strategic planning. We just need to find a black source. And we miss. We'll get the gate, though. No, I think a Walking Ballista is actually better here. That's terrible. It is what it is, though. We had a lot of outs there. There was five draws to hit a land. Walking Ballista. Okay. So I'd love to hit a land here, of course, for Dispossess, and we hit it. So we will go for it. My opponent can start aggroing me, though, so keep that in mind. So it's Gate, Walking Ballista, Angel Invention. And what else we need to be worried about in this one? Trophy Mage, Thought-Knot Seers. So just Thought-Knot Seer beatdown. But this is a weak hand by my opponent. No lands. We're both kind of, yeah, at the mercy of each other. So okay. I do take some damage though next turn. Did find a land. See how my opponent's going to play it out. Probably just another Walking Ballista. No, decides to go for the gate. I think that was a mistake. Champion of Wits. Yes, we'd like to do this. Throw away the God-Pharaoh's Gift and the Marionette Master. And play a Sunken Hollow. And next turn, we can go gate. My opponent does have a pretty aggressive draw with the ballistas, though. See if my opponent does ping down a champion. Yes, okay. But that means that helps me out. Puts 3 in my graveyard. See if my opponent does put out another Walking Ballista. I could also put a Walking Ballista on too. Next turn. Alright, getting way too many of these things. Or just go a Trophy Mage and the Walking Ballista on 1. Block shoot. I think that's actually better. Because we're where we need to be. Trophy Mage just goes and gets another gate. Which makes us not vulnerable to the And we will go Walking Ballista on 1. I know I could save this for an Angel, because the Angel still is kind of difficult card for us to deal with. Just even on 4. But as soon as we get a flyer that comes in, so unfortunately I do have to take down a Ballista. Neonate is going to be a bit of an issue. I only have 4 creatures in my graveyard too, so these gates are actually bad. So should I have waited? Yes, I should have. And just going to attack him with the Trophy Mage. Wow, this is how you lose a game. We wanted lands, and we drew lands. So close game. I think I lost this one. I don't know how I'm going to get out of the Angel of Invention. It's a 2-turn clock. I need to draw like a Walking Ballista of my own. I do get to gain some life with these gates. Glint-Nest Crane would be the best draw, probably. Because the problem is I don't even think that Champion of Wits saves me here. Because I'm taking 6 and 6. So it's perfectly lethal. And I can't just go Champion of Wits to try... Well, yes, I can. Because I can get Walking Ballistas that will gain me 2 life. Thought-Nuts are just misses. That was one of the best case scenarios for me. But that just puts me under pressure again. So I'm really at the mercy of my top decks here. I need a really solid card off the top. And that was not a solid card. So it's either Walking Ballista or Bust here off of the Champion of Wits. Because I don't have enough stuff to block. So unfortunately that was a ton of lands to draw into. Maybe should have waited for my Walking Ballista one more turn. Other than my opponent could have just shot it down, so it wouldn't have mattered. And then I would have been at the same... Well, would have saved a life. Possibly just waited for the Walking Ballista another turn to shoot down the Angel of Invention. That could have been a better play. It doesn't matter. The land flood was real for this game. It's Walking Ballista or Bust here. And I don't think that Walking Ballista might not save me because I'm taking 6, 7, 8. And this is only drawing me... And we miss it anyway, so... That is game. I don't know. I think... Yeah, that's the first time I've dropped a match to this one. I played the second round terribly. That was definitely my bad. So I deserve this loss. But... Yeah, Hope doesn't even win it there. It had to be a Walking Ballista. Just lands galore. We'll go on to the next match. All right, match 3. Yes, we'd like to play first. Keeble hand with the strategic plannings. This is where Cathartic Union would be better. But it's definitely an acceptable hand here. as we can now set up. I mean, these are not particularly anything besides the Colossus we want to discard from our hand. Colossuses aren't terrible in hand too. Again, with double God-Pharaoh's gifts, they're free. A Lumbering Falls. There's our gate, so perfect. We'll put out a Rivulet and go for the strategic planning and take a Ministry of Inquiries. And throw more useless lands to the graveyard. Not what we wanted, but it's acceptable. So another Teamer Energy, the most played deck currently in Standard. So see if another Cub comes down. Turn 2 Cub. Very annoying card. Now we can get the Gate to the Afterlife and stick it here, but I think I'd rather go Minister and... Ooh, Champion of Wits is actually really good. Champion of Wits is the play. That gets rid of our Metalwork Colossus. And at this point, just a Rivulet or a Hub. I could also get rid of the Ministry of Inquiries here, but I think we want it. So we are flooded. We do have the blocker for the Long Tusk Cub, though, so unless my opponent can pump some energy in it. And there is the Rogue Refiner, so I'm not going to block the Cub, unfortunately. The Cub is going to start growing. This next turn, we have a Ministry of Inquiries and a Gate to the Afterlife to come down, which is fine. And we have a Glint-Nest Crane, which should be good later on. We'll just put out an Aether Hub here. That can avoid a damage. I think we can take a damage from a... No, we don't need to. Okay. Yeah. We'll put the Rivulet. Go Gate to the Afterlife. Minister of Inquiries. All right, so we need to avoid the Glorybringers. But we do have blockers next turn, which we will use. We have one creature in the graveyard. But I think that we do chump block the Inquiries on the Long Tusk Cup. No, I think I'll let it go through one more time. The thing is, you don't want to get too low versus something like the Glorybringer, because the haste on the Glorybringer is rough. A lot of times it's perfect lethal, taking out a block or two, like a Glint-Nest Crane. A Braid is something we have to play around at this point. I don't know why I'm going to put a counter already on Long Tusk Cub. I don't see the point to it. But we will make these blocks. Kapow. Again, still have to worry about the Braid. Gonna go for the Glint-Nest. Maybe I shouldn't have there. Just can't win here with the lands. Almost halfway through our lands here. And a Tireless Tracker. Fortunately, I think we're going to be just too slow. Walking Ballista is nice. I can actually kill off the Tireless Tracker. Or we have 4 creatures in our graveyard. Walking Ballista could actually, between Walking Ballista and Strategic Planning, we can actually hit this here. We'll take another Strategic Planning. And cast this for free. Because now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this will work. I think Minister of Inquiries is actually fine. I think I'm just going to get rid of a Strategic Planning. That way we can have another blocker with the Minister of Inquiries if that's actually necessary. At this point, I don't even know if it is. Or if it's, yeah, because I don't see myself casting the Strategic Planning. So we'll crack the gate to the Afterlife. And cast a Minister. And at this point, I think we just want the Marionette Master. And I'm going to put servos, I believe. I mean, maybe I should have gone for... Wow, Metalwork Colossus would have been almost lethal off of the 7. Yeah, we should have gone for Metalwork Colossus. I played that wrong. So the only thing that can really save my opponent here is a Glorybringer. And if that's the case, I messed up big time. If it's not a Glorybringer, though, it's not a Glorybringer now, so I don't see us losing this game. Harness Lightning still kills the Marionette Master, though. I'm going to block like this. They'll do 12 damage to my opponent. We have the Metalwork Colossus in the graveyard. It's not a big deal, though, at this point, because the Gate to Afterlife will trigger off after this Ministry of Inquiries dies. In fact, can I just kill my opponent here with... No, yeah, 16 damage? So I want this... Yeah, I did want to be... The clue token's dying here. I think my opponent should... Well, hopefully we'll crack another clue. Yes, okay, so now we just win here. So Metalwork Colossus sacrifices Servo and Servo, which does 8. Oh, I'll be 1 off. No, this was 4. Yeah, he's just dead. To the swing back on Marionette Master. I don't know what my opponent was thinking there with attacking in. Need to save back a blocker. Okay, jeez. Dead in so many different ways. Yahenni's expertise actually does seem pretty good in this match. When I know there's like rogue refiners. I'm not sure though. My opponent could be bringing in ways to deal with my stuff. Aethersphere Harvester actually does seem pretty good. It blocks rogue refiners all day long. Expertises also seem good. But then we're in the same problem with, I'm going to go down one God-Pharaohs, one Metalwork Colossus, and probably all of the Glint-Nest Cranes, I would assume. They're actually pretty good. The Ministers are probably the weak links. And Hope of Ghirapur, well, one of Hope of Ghirapur. This puts us way low in creature count, but it does... I could go strategic planning, but strategic planning a lot of times, yeah, Minister might just be better. Because it's something that can crew. I think that strategic planning always has to come out if you're bringing in non-creature spells, because you have to keep your creature count high. There's no way around it. And Harvester is weird too, because it's a non-creature, but it's really good in these matchups, because as we saw in the match number 1 with this deck, we did a very good job of just the aggression the Aethersphere Harvester can provide. In fact, I probably should have on the other game been way more aggressive with the Harvester. It also is an artifact dying with Marionette Master out. Pretty decent in this deck because Explorer can allow you to look at the top card of your library, so allow you to put it in your hand. If not, you can keep it on top or put it in your graveyard. So that's another way to fill up our graveyard. I'm going to mulligan this because one lander is not acceptable. Two lander with this is tough. We'll keep it in Scry. Put that on the bottom. We need... that was probably a mulligan. Because we don't have the strategic plans to get out of this. I don't know. We need to hit the land. We have double Harvester. Yeah, I probably should have mulliganed to 5. I don't know if I need to go all 3 Harvesters in this one. Because we have the Trophy Mages to find them. Ministry of Inquiries. Ways away from casting Yahenni's expertise. I'm actually not certain we need this card. Cub again. We are, what, 6 for 6 against energy for having a turn 2 Cub? That is bad. Well, we get another Ministry of Inquiries. Not liking either a Virtuoso or a Rogue Refiner here. Alright, I think we just have to throw... No, we'll let the Cub do its thing. Because now I can get up to 4-4. I was hoping there wasn't anything. Now, Yahenni's expertise is actually bad. I don't know why I brought it in. It does clear Rogue Refiners and We're the Virtuosos. But it's the weak link. Hopefully this doesn't get lands. I'll take it though because it gets rid of the Yahenni's expertises, but it did get rid of our lands. Womp womp. Harvester's pretty bad now too. There's a gate to the Afterlife. And we missed the land drop. All right, so here we will double block on the Rogue Refiner. But we're too far behind at this point. The Cub's going to do another 5. The turn 2 Cub is just really powerful. See if we can avoid one game of getting a turn 2 Cub. It's 2 more lands. Ay, ay, ay. I think that's pretty much all our lands in the graveyard. That one does hit 2 creatures, though. Chandra. Chandra decides to cycle lands. This is going to take away my blocker. Even if I hit a land here, it's alright. We missed a land drop. They're all in the graveyard. We're not coming back from this. Let's take out these Yahenni's expertises. Bring in the strategic plannings. They're a must. Wonder how hard Metalwork Colossus actually might be pretty good in this deck. Just a hard cast. Hey, there we go. I am not mulliganing lands. Let's just hope for not a Cub again. A turn 2 Cub. Because we're not that vulnerable because we have the Champion of Wits. And a Lumbering Fall. So it means we're not going to get a turn 2 Cub with a... tune. Might not actually even get rid of the Marionette Master here. We can hardcast this thing with one more land. No, because we'd have to get rid of lands at that point. We will get rid of the Marionette Master in a swamp. Servant of the Conduit. Not as bad as a Cub. That does ramp into a Chandra, though. There's a Harvester. Should have taken those out, now I'm thinking about it. Champion of Wits is coming down. We will get rid of a Marionette Master and a Swamp. And next turn we have, there's a couple of routes we could go. We could go Gate to the Afterlife, or we could go Glint-Nest and Walking Ballista, which is probably the better play, because I do want to find another land as soon as possible. Also, if my opponent does throw out a Chandra, we do need to take care of Chandra. That's a thing. Magma Spray, not that big of a deal, though. And just taking 2 of the Servant, so no Cub again, which is awesome. I could actually just go Walking Ballista and take care of the Servant. That could be a thing. But I think I like my other play better. With the Glint-Nest Crane. Finds a Hope of Ghirapur. That actually gives us a better play than a Walking Ballista. We'll play the Hope of Ghirapur. All right, so we're in great shape. We have the 5th land for our Gate to the Afterlife. Only 1 creature, though, in the graveyard. The Magma Spray was very rude. But with Walking Ballista being able to hit, well, and our Hope of Ghirapur being able to sacrifice itself, I'd love to see like a Chandra. Rogue Refiner. Use both as red, though. Means an Abrade is something I can cast. Could be leaving up like Negate. That's why the 2 blue sources. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I want to run. Awesome. Okay. We made the right call. Oh, I could have just done Hope of Ghirapur. So that was a mistake, because I could have done Hope of Ghirapur there. So the Harvester gets negated. Could have just attacked with Hope of Ghirapur and then... But no, because we're still a ways away from... I just want the mana to be tapped out. And we will just let the Rogue Refiner do its thing. Rather than put the Glint-Nest Crane. Still keeping up that mana. Another Rogue Refiner. Or possibly another Negate. Still have to worry about Abrades. So Hope of Ghirapur could come in and then we can get the Gate to the Afterlife out, but I'm not sure that does a lot. Because we only have 2 creatures in our graveyard. So we will run out the Gate. I don't think there's a way we can play around it. And strategic planning here. Just grab another strategic planning, I think. And pass a turn. Gonna cycle the Sheltered Thicket. Can't cast a Chandra here. Can easily cast a Glorybringer. We have 3 creatures in our graveyard. This allows us to have 4. So we need some help here. I don't think my opponent wants to attack in. All right, this is worthwhile. Block here, block here. Shoot. And we are active. Another servant. And he's gonna tap out for me. Woohoo! So we can guarantee a Marionette Master. If we can quit drawing lands, we will put... I wanted this Marionette Master in hand really badly, but we'll go Champion of Wits. It gives us something to do. We'll go ahead and crack the gate. Funny thing is, I can actually crack... I can go Hope of Ghirapur, attack, and then make sure my opponent doesn't do any... Can't cast a non-creature spell again. But, I mean, a Braid still... But yeah, but Marionette Master is actually pretty bad. So I'm not sure how to run this. Let's see what we get with the Champion of Wits. It just throws 2 in the graveyard. Another Marionette Master and a Trophy Mage. Trophy Mage would give us another God-Pharaoh's Gift. I mean, a Gate to the Afterlife that we can actually cast. But the... you do 4 damage with the... Do I worry about going Marionette Master here? Because the thing is that it can just die. I think I actually want a champion here. Because we could go with the Marionette Master and go for lethal. But I think champion's the right play. Yeah, that actually does a lot better because we can keep the Walking Ballista and hard cast a Marionette Master. And do I want to get down to 15? Let me do the math here. We make 7, 7. Shoot. Yeah, I think I just need to keep this back. It goes down to 15. We cast this. It's a 4, 7, 11. Attack in. Take a lot of damage, though. I think I do attack in. Opponent has a ton of mana to work with, though. Looks like, yeah, Chandra will come down. And gonna cast a Woodland Wanderer, which we're at lethal now. Because I'm not worried about a 6/6. Vigilance Trample 6/6. Alright, so we win this. Strategic Planning doesn't do anything because we want to hard cast the Marionette Master, correct? Because that enters with 4. And then Strategic Planning could try to find another Marionette Master. I mean, we're doing 7 from the Marionette Master. Could find another Walking Ballista, which isn't lethal. So if we put out this Marionette Master for 4, it adds 4 creatures. Or, excuse me, that's 7, so it's 11. The Walking Ballista just does 11 damage. So I actually think Strategic Planning is the better play. Perfect. And I think we just take the Aether Hub, because we don't want the Metalwork Colossus. And this allows us to cast the Marionette Master anyway. And he's dead multiple ways. So this one is just going to get servos. And then we will go to a combat. And this one we want a Marionette Master. With +1/+1 counters. And we can attack into these two. I don't think it does anything. Yeah, it doesn't do it. It doesn't do anything. Let's go like this, as this does a ton of damage. And the Colossus actually does the rest. Okay, we're going to the next match. All right, match number 4. So far, so good. Risky keep here. If I keep it, we have double gate to the Afterlife, which can pay off pretty well. I think I will keep it. Strategic Planning can find us a land if we draw into Strategic Planning. So 24 outs. Glint-Nest Crane's going to be pretty good versus the Crypt Breaker. Here's where Yahenni's expertise will finally shine. Walking Blitz is also really good. We find our land anyway. So we'll start off with the island versus what we're doing. And our opponent's going to keep up the Crypt Breaker to discard a card. The thing is, they can go wide and go crazy, but a lot of times this deck's pretty good at stopping that from happening. Glint-Nest Crane is going to be very needed to grab. It has to find something here. Not a lot of cards we want. God-Pharaoh's Gift, might as well take it. It takes us out of the having to draw it. But, I mean, this hand needs to find something like a Minister. Lord of the Accursed would be tough here, too, if my opponent just drops Lord of the Accursed. Wistful Abbey also would be tough. Okay, well, see my opponent decides just to draw instead. Nope. And we'll let that go through because we need the looting off of the gate to the Afterlife. Walking Ballista is nice. Can't really do anything at the moment with it. We're going to go gate. So my opponent had the Cryptbreaker, Lord of the Curse draw, Westville Abbey, which is insanely good versus what we're trying to do. However, we are going to be able to loot off of this Glint-Nest Crane. Possibly even just block one of these 2/3s and wait another turn. Because I like to have another gate to the Afterlife out. Relentless Dead. Well, it gives us the Fatal Push. And that was actually a pretty good series of events here. We take a ton of damage. But what this allows us is to go Walking Ballista ×2 for free. And I have 5 known cards. Like, it's going to be tough. They have Menace. It's going to be tough to stop everything. But, I mean, it's not in the scope of impossibles here. There's a strategic planning, which it can also... I believe strategic planning is just free here because we're not playing anything else. So we'll run it out. And at this point, we can just grab another gate to the Afterlife. I think we'll just take a land. I don't think I need another one. And that gives us, this does to give us the amount of loots that we need. Geez, I kind of just want to get rid of a land here rather than the God-Pharaoh's Gift because we're almost to the point where we can hardcast the damn thing. But yeah, that's fine. Let's get rid of a hub. Or it's an island. And we'll get a Marionette Master. His last card in hand could be... We have to go Servos here. Rather than... Now, do I get in with Marionette Master? That takes him down to 16. Can he kill me in one turn? Because we can block 2 creatures. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can do 10 damage if he plays another Lord. And so do I need... is this damage actually something I need to worry about? So 16, 4, 8, 12, 16, I can double. I think I do need this damage. Because everything Menace and throws a Lord, I die, right? No, I can block 1. And that... I think that's better. My opponent should block here. Alright. So this gives me the blockers. Okay, perfect. So then we'll go to blocks, block here, and block here. And then bring back the Metalwork Colossus, which puts my opponent down to an 8. which means if there's any way we can discard a card. Well, Glint-Nest Crane will do 4 in the air. Probably should have gone for a YOLO and tapped his zombies to try to kill my Marionette Master, because I think it's just lethal here. There's a Dread Wanderer, and then can cast a Dread Wanderer back from the graveyard. My opponent so chooses. Yep. That's what I thought was going to occur. But we have a lot of outs here. Jeez. Kind of dumb, actually, that we don't have a way out of this. I could still die. Because I don't have a way to kill. We only have 4 creatures now in the graveyard. All right, because there's nothing that can... Glint-Nest is what we're going to get anyway, so I think I'm just going to pay 1. No, we don't need to do this yet. We'll take the Glint-Nest. Because the Glint-Nest can find us. Does not find us anything. So I get attack in, and then it leaves my opponent in a weird position. But I think I need to stop the menace from occurring. Westvale Abbey only does 9 damage to me. Plus I have a blocker for it. Next turn I have another God-Pharaoh's Gift. So I don't think I attack in with anything. Because I can't discard my Metalwork Colossus. So if I attack, what ends up happening? Block. Won't block this. Go down. No, I don't think I do any attacks. The flood is real. Okay, we'll go on past turn here. I don't see a lot of top decks. The Crypt Breaker does allow for a draw, which actually might be significant. I don't think Liliana's Mastery does anything here, too. There's only 1 Menace card. And we can hard cast this God-Pharaoh's Gift next turn. So maybe I should have gone for Ministry of Inquiries. It just gains haste until in a turn. So yeah, I'd have to use it in a turn. But I do have the blockers. Basically, every card but another Metalwork Colossus or Gate to the Afterlife is a significant draw. All right, so my opponent can go for the Westvale Abbey. Nope, goes for the Liliana's Mastery. So I think that's we have lethal next turn, most likely. Because I don't think there's enough ways to to block both these Walking Ballistas. It finds us another land, but it doesn't matter. We this one, wait, 4, 5. Actually, it does matter because we don't have the... One Walking Ballista comes back. Jeez, I can end up losing this because we can't hard cast. The thing is, I think just the Walking Ballista wins it, but because my opponent has to block either, well, a Crypt Breaker. Let's see what this Rivulet does. Okay, it makes it hit. And this gives us another Marionette Master. And then that's lethal anyway. So we'll grab Marionette Master. And a Walking Ballista. And just swing in, this would be lethal. Just from the Glint-Nest Crane, but it's a ton of damage. Don't know what my opponent's thinking about because there's nothing to think about. The Glint-Nest Crane by itself wins the game because there's no flying. Yeah, now my opponent's just trying to waste time. Alrighty, we'll go on to the sideboard. So Yahenni's expertise comes in, strategic planning most likely comes out. Maybe Hope of Ghirapur, maybe Glint-Nest Crane, something like that. Hope of Ghirapur are actually kind of weak in this one. I think those ones are the weaker link. Harvesters can come in. Yeah, Harvesters are great in this match. So Trophy Mage, I just think all the Glint-Nest Cranes could possibly come out, or just Ministry of Inquiries. This puts our creature count way down. Also makes it tough to crew that. Maybe just 2 Harvesters. No, I think we want to... Oh, yeah, we can take out a Metalwork Colossus. There we go. And a God-Pharaoh's Gift. This allows us to go 2 more Minister of Inquiries. Or, I wonder if just Glint-Nest to even find Hope of Ghirapur's is better. Oh, Strategic Planning should probably come out for creatures. Yeah, let's do that. Other than Strategic Planning can get us to that Yahenni's expertise, I think he will always... Like, going below 25 is really, really tough for creatures. And Aethersphere Harvester is a very good... Okay, so I guess our last one didn't hit. The Strategic Planning still... Unless we kept one in. But, I mean, we'll keep this. This is a good hand. Has a Dread Wanderer. Kind of slow, but Champion of Wits will get us some value here. A Relentless Dead. Trophy Mage is great, finds us what we need. We will plan. And I honestly think a Glint-Nest Crane is the best card here. Somehow just have to stabilize until... I mean, Zombies is very good at dishing off some damage, but we'll have the Champion of Wits to hopefully at this point will get us to where we need with the Yahenni's expertise. I can actually go Hope of Ghirapur and Glint-Nest Crane here. I don't know if that's the right. I think it's just champions. We'll end up taking 4. Yeah, Yahenni's expertise is a must to try to hit. Menace is tough on the Relentless Deads. Still didn't hit it. We'll get rid of the God-Pharaoh's Gift and a land, I believe. A Marionette Master. Yeah, actually, strategic planning probably should stay in this. Yahenni's expertise is huge. That was a card I was definitely worried about. Decides just come in with those. Okay. There's a gate to the Afterlife. You can do that and the Hope of Ghirapur. I think this is the only hope I have. Pun intended. Or I could go Glint-Nest and Hope of Ghirapur. That gives me another blocker. So we have 3 cards in the graveyard. Yeah, and then I've got plenty. So I actually think it's going to be Gate and Hope of Ghirapur. Still would like to draw in to Yahenni's expertise. Gives me a lot of draws, though, with the Gate to the Afterlife. No, because we need to... Do I need to throw away one? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the graveyard. So I need to throw a Trophy Mage in the graveyard to have 5. No, I don't. So I can just throw a land. But I don't even think a Marionette Master works because we're still going to be too low with the Menace. So I need to, off the top, hit Yahenni's expertise. We'll go to a 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now. So I do need to throw. Most likely, I would assume the Treasure Mage can go get a Aethersphere Harvester. No, because it just doesn't matter. So I think the Glint-Nest, we'll throw the Treasure Mage away. The Harvester doesn't do anything either. So Marionette Master gives me 2 blockers, enough to block those. Gives me another block. I think I'm still dead. Unless I draw like a Walking Ballista. Does Harvester do... Yes, Harvester actually... That was a good one. Because Harvester gives me what I need. So first off... No, yes it does. Harvester does give me what I need. So I can't play the Glint-Nest, so we'll just crack the gate. Throw out a Harvester. Marionette Master here. And this one needs servos. But we're still in a pickle, because we can only block 2 creatures, 2 of the menace creatures. Yeah, we still die. My opponent does this right. Just too slow here. No, we can block all 4. Or 3. We can block 3. We can block 1 Relentless Dead. And Lord of the Accursed. Colossus is definitely annoying. My opponent decides not to do anything, which is probably smart. And I don't have a lot of things I can do. Could go lethal here if I draw perfectly. I don't think that's the way we want to do this. Let's see here. Champion of Wits can go grab us a Yahenni's Expertise. I still think that's the best option. The problem is, though... Yeah, I don't need to run the Glint-Nest Crane yet. Trophy Mage can go get us another Gate to Afterlife, but that doesn't do a lot either. Hope of Ghirapur does nothing. Sacrifice it to stop my opponent from doing something in a turn. And then I do have 2 Glint-Nest Cranes that give me 2 more blockers. So that's an option. That is definitely an option. Otherwise, I think the right play, though, is just to go... the Champion of Wits. To try for Yahenni's Expertise. And we've gone through almost half our deck at this point. Strategic play can still do it. So we're going to discard Hub and Hub. I don't think I crew the Harvester. Well, that sucks. Couldn't quite get there with... Jeez, that is rough. That was very rough. We've gone through half our library without a Yahenni's Expertise. We'll take the gate. Good news, we don't have to draw anymore. Aether Hubs. We get a Harvester out here. Still, No Yahenni's expertise. I wonder if it didn't save it. If that was the problem. If we're just playing without them. So the Walking Ballista doesn't do anything. We need 4 damage. Put another creature in the graveyard. Loot. I think we need to do another life. Oh, that doesn't loot. Because I don't have a Gate to Afterlife out. That's true. Okay. So that was pointless. Still can't quite sack the Deadlands. I can go for return. Cletus is very annoying. As it does take away the die effect from still, though, yeah, that's going to be a rough card to deal with. Can't find Yahenni's expertise to save my life. We do have another Aethersphere Harvester, which does give us some play. Sunken Hollow here is fine. I'd attack in with a Harvester to go take my opponent to a 13. That's not quite where we want to be. Other than Gate to the Afterlife does work. We do have a Hope of Ghirapur that ends up being a token. So do I have enough here? I think I do. How many hopes do I have? Yes, I think I win here. Okay. All right. I found a way out. So we're going to go Gate to the Afterlife. Which I believe I have enough in the graveyard. Oh, I don't. Oh, I was one off, and the ruins are in the graveyard too. Let's see. So we have one. So I need to wait for... No, Walking Ballista, I'm glad I actually played it out there. Well, other than now, it would have been a good card. The thing is, I can get in with the Harvester. God-Pharaoh... Okay, so God-Pharaoh gives me the 12. 11, 10, 9. I get my opponent down to a 9 if I go with Harvesters. And Trophy Mage can go get me what? It can go get me a Harvester. So I don't need to cast this quite yet. We're into crew. Don't know if it's the right play, but the Menace, I think it is. So we'll go to combat. And we could bring back a Hope of Ghirapur. Or a Trophy Mage. Hope of Ghirapur could do 4. And then take down to 12. Sacrifice, take down to an 8. Harvester does... I think I'm just going to go for a Trophy Mage. Get another Harvester. Attack with a Harvester. Use an energy. Put me back up to a 5. Put my opponent down to a 13. And is playing another Harvester. I think that allows for a little bit better of a chance. We still need to find, like, there's so many cards we could draw into. I wonder if it just didn't get saved after I put the Yahenni's expertises in. I need to play quick too, so there could be a possible game 3. Killing Marionette Master here is actually quite smart with the Ipnu Deadlands. We have a lot of outs I can draw into. Only 2 more strategic. We need another Ipnu Rivulet. Just going to get rid of my other Trophy Mage that's there. That's fine. I think my opponent needs to. No, can't attack in or he dies. And took the wrong one. Needed to take a Hope of Ghirapur. So we actually win next turn. Okay. I have 6, 7, 8. I have 12. Ooh, I only have 12. Let's see. 6, 7, 8. 12 damage again. So not quite lethal. Because I can only bring back... Wait a second. Walking Ballista can do another damage. No, Walking Ballista can't. Hope of Ghirapur has to come back. So I'm going to Trophy Mage here. Oh, I guess we can... Yes, we have all the Yahenni's expertises in here. That's ridiculous. And Marionette Masters are still... Like, the majority of our deck is still... So I'm going to crew. That puts us at 3, 6, 7, 8 is all I can do. Unless I can get another to go to the graveyard. So, do I crew this as well? Get a Hope of Ghirapur here? Or do I want a Walking Ballista? Because it's really close. Oh, that's 13. Why'd I crew that way? 6. Oh, yeah, 10, 11. Yeah. I completely messed up with the Glint-Nest. So this is just lethal here. Okay. That was what I was thinking. The Glint-Nest Cranes do damage. There we go. Took me a while to figure that out. I knew I had it, and then I forgot all about the sacrifice on the Marionette Master. That's what it was. So, again, not too shabby. We almost went 4-0 with this deck just because of that Jeskai one is probably the easiest match. So I'll play the last one on my channel. See if we can actually finish this off as a 4-1. But the deck's solid. It's not missing too much from... I mean, it's from adding the getting rid of the red. The Marionette Master combo is still there even without the Westville Abbey. And if we get other things that actually sacrifice artifacts out of Ixalan, we still have some good juicy cards, a lot of filler cards left. The uncommons and common slots that could be exactly what we need for looting. And if that's this is a kind of a pirate set, a looter set, so I wouldn't be surprised to get something like Merfolk Looter, which would work perfectly in this deck. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. This has been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. You can check the last video on my YouTube channel at YouTube/RogueDeckBuilder. Again, links will be in the description below. Thanks for watching.